Valar Morghulis is the 10th and final episode of the second season of the HBO medieval fantasy television series Game of Thrones. It is the sixth episode this season to be written by series co-creators David Benioff and D. Weiss, and is directed by Alan Taylor, his fourth episode this season. It is 64 minutes long and aired on June 3, 2012. The episode's title is a code phrase spoken by Jaqen H'ghar to Arya Stark during the episode, but its meaning is not explained until the third season episode, Walk of Punishment. All men must die. This is consistent with the meaning given in the books upon which the series is based. Plot: in King's Landing, after the decisive victory over Stannis Baratheon in the Battle of Blackwater, King Joffrey gives Lord Tywin Lannister, his grandfather, the title of Saviour of King's Landing for his help in the Battle of Blackwater Bay, and formally names him Hand of the King. For uniting the houses of Tyrell and Lannister, the alliance which caused the victory, Lord Petyr Baelish is given the castle of Harrenhal. Ser Loras Tyrell asks for the king to wed Lady Margaery Tyrell, his sister, and though Joffrey insists he is bound by oath to Sansa Stark, Queen Regent Cersei and her subject Grand Maester Pycelle argue that the gods will allow him to reject the oath on grounds of Eddard Stark's treason. Sansa is elated to be rid of Joffrey, but Baelish warns her that she is still in danger while she is in King's Landing. He offers to scheme to see her home safely. Lord Varys works to undermine Baelish's successes and plots to turn his associate, the prostitute Ros, against him. Meanwhile, a scarred Tyrion Lannister wakes from the injuries that he received from the attempt on his life during the battle. With the arrival of Lord Tywin, he has been removed from the position of Hand of the King and is left powerless and without allies, except for his squire, Podrick Payne. Lord Varys informs Tyrion that the Queen was behind the attempt on his life and says that he knows Tyrion to have been the true hero of the battle, even though he will receive no official credit. Tyrion is consoled by she, who remains loyal and tries to convince him to leave King's Landing for Pentos with her. Despite his fall from power, Tyrion refuses to leave King's Landing, saying that he has finally found a role at which he both excels and enjoys. At Dragoonstone, in a rage over his unexpected defeat at the Battle of Blackwater, Lord Stannis Baratheon blames his Red Priestess, Melisandre, for goading him into war with promises of victory and attempts to strangle her in a fit of rage. He relents only after Melisandre makes him truly comprehend his involvement in the death of his brother Renly. After informing Stannis that he will betray all that he has known in his quest to be king and assuring him it will be worth it in the end, Melisandre leads Stannis to a burning bowl of coal and as them together observe the dancing fire. As Stannis watches the flames, he seems to be struck by divine visions from the Lord of Light, restoring his faith in Melisandre. In the Westerlands, Brienne continues in her mission to escort the prisoner Jaime Lannister to King's Landing, in exchange for Sansa and Arya Stark. They happen upon the corpses of 3 women lynched by Stark soldiers, who soon arrive and discover that Brienne's prisoner is the wanted Kingslayer himself. Brienne slays them after they are discovered, avenging the 3 women, whom Brienne then buries. When Jaime expresses his surprise, Brienne reminds him that she does not serve House Stark, but Lady Catelyn. Meanwhile, King Robb confides to his mother, Catelyn, that he is in love with Lady Delisa and will not proceed with the arranged marriage to one of Lord Walder Frey's daughters. Despite Catelyn's warning that breaking his oath with Lord Frey is reckless, Robb marries Delisa in private. At Winterfell, with Winterfell under siege from Roose Bolton's bastard son Ramsay, and facing defeat, Theon Greyjoy rejects the advice of Maester Luwin to abandon the castle and join the Night's Watch and decides to fight to the death with his men. However, during Theon's rallying speech, Dagmar and his men knock Theon out and drag him off to be handed to Ramsay in exchange for pardon. When Luwin attempts to intervene, Dagmar stabs him. Bran and his party emerge from hiding to find Winterfell sacked and Luwin dying in the Godswood, where he declares his loyalty and love for the Starks before having Osha perform a mercy killing, out of sight of Bran and Rickon. Bran and his group then escape the remains of Winterfell, bound for the war. At the outskirts of Harrenhal, Arya, along with her companions Gendry and Hot Pie, flee from Harrenhal. They are surprised by the sudden appearance of the mysterious assassin Jaqen H'ghar, who helped them escape. Jaqen offers to take Arya with him to Braavos to train her in his abilities, and although tempted, Arya declines, intending to reunite with her family. Before departing, Jaqen hands Arya a special coin and the phrase Valar Morghulis, which Arya may use to seek him if she meets anyone from Braavos. Before departing, Jaqen turns to reveal he has changed his face, an ability of the Faceless Men he mentions to Arya. Across the narrow sea, Ser Jorah Mormont and the Dothraki Kovaro go with Daenerys Targaryen to the House of the Undying, a stronghold where the warlock Pyat has her dragons held captive. The warlock's magic quickly leaves Jorah stranded outside, while trapping Daenerys in the stronghold. Daenerys is struck with visions of wandering places such as the Red Keep, north of the Wall, Castle Black, and the Haunted Forest. She encounters her deceased husband, Khal Drogo, and their stillborn son R'hllor, both apparently alive and well. Although unsure whether she is dreaming, Daenerys leaves when she hears her dragons. She finds herself in an antechamber with her dragons chained to a pedestal. Pyat appears and conjures chains to bind Daenerys. She orders her dragons to breathe fire, killing Pyat and freeing her from his magic. After escaping the House of the Undying, Daenerys H'ghar with her dragons, her remaining Dothraki contingent, and Ser Jorah H'ghar finds Xhoan Daxos asleep in bed with Doray, who Daenerys now realizes had betrayed her, and takes them prisoner. Opening Xho's vault, they find it empty, with Xho's boasts of extreme wealth having been lies. Despite Xho's and Doray's pleas, Daenerys orders her followers to seal them both in Xho's vault. Daenerys proceeds to have her companions loot as much as they can from Xho's house in order to buy a ship. Beyond the wall, Night's Watch Ranger Qhorin Halfhand, still prisoner of the Wheatlings, provokes a fight with fellow prisoner, Jon Snow, with the apparent goal of convincing the Wheatlings that Jon has defected. Qhorin goads Jon into killing him by insulting the memories of his mother and of Ned Stark. After Qhorin is killed, the Wheatlings free a stunned Jon and introduce him to their massive Wheatling force, promising him a meeting with their king beyond the wall, former Night's Watch Ranger, Mance Rayder. Meanwhile, while on duty, Sam, Green, and Ed overhear 3 horn blasts signaling White Walkers' approach. The others flee, leaving Sam behind. He is quickly surrounded by an army of Whites and a White Walker riding an undead horse. The White Walker glances at him, and then orders the force to advance. Sam, now isolated from his allies, watches in horror as the army marches onward towards the Night's Watch encampment at the Fist of the First Men. Writing: the episode was written by producers David Benioff and D. Weiss and directed by Alan Taylor. It was Taylor's final episode on the show. As a season finale, Valar Morghulis is a slightly extended episode. Reception, ratings. In its original broadcast on June 3, 2012, the episode received 4.20 million viewers, to become the most watched episode of the series until the 3rd season aired. Critical reception: Valar Morghulis received highly positive reviews. Matt Fowler of IGN rated the episode 9 out of 10. David Sims of the AV Club gave the episode an A grade. Accolades: this episode received a Primetime Emmy Award nomination for Outstanding Prosthetic Makeup for a Series, Miniseries, Movie, or a Special. It won for Outstanding Special Visual Effects. References. External links: Valar Morghulis at HBO.com, Valar Morghulis at the Internet Movie Database, Valar Morghulis at TV.com.